How's that? As the dog barks, because clearly I can't have a proper broadcast. How we doing now? We doing good? Doing good? How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? La la la. Are we on? Maybe. Possibly. Am I live? Can somebody give me a freaking clue here? There it is. Okay, cool. Let me try it again. So let's do this again. Let's do this one more time here. Once more with feeling. Welcome, everybody, to Talk Wrestling here on NoDQ.com, the Jeff Meacham Network, the Castilian Studios, the Greg Cherry brand. Thank you all for joining me on this Tuesday night. I know it's been a crazy, crazy day within wrestling, within the wrestling internet community, shall we say, and, of course, the world. It is a crazy, crazy time. I thank you for joining me here after yet another NXT 2.0 presentation, after the earlier presentation from NoDQ.com regarding their predictions and preview for Double or Nothing coming up on Sunday. Of course, you can check out our full coverage over on the Jeff Meacham Network side of things coming up on Sunday. That'll be beginning at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific on the Jeff Meacham Network, as well as the James Hebert Studios channel. I believe we're also going to be simulcasting that on the Castilian Studios. I'll have to check with JJ on that, unless he can tell me in the chat room, which would be even better. We'll just go ahead and go with that. For now, definitely on the Jeff Meacham Network. We're trying to work it out being on the James Hebert Studio side of things. That's still a lot of stuff I have to have help setting up. So let me just say that for now. Yes, I did cut my own hair. I look like hell. It is going to be insane. No doubt about it, JJ. We're going to have a lot of people along for that ride. We're going to have you and me. We're going to have Noah and James and Casey. And I believe James is putting together his own little, I'm trying not to underplay it by any means, his own room full of people. So it's going to be bananas here come Sunday. I'm kind of glad I'm taking Thursday and Friday off. Not going to lie. There will also be an announcement coming soon-ish regarding the lineup on this channel with Stat Boy Sports Bar featuring Dory. I don't know what they're going to call that show. Forgive me, Mikey. Stat Boy and Dory Lou's show returning in August. And then we're going to have a complete overhaul coming up in September. So be on the lookout for that. Also, you saw in the trailer today the 20th anniversary of the media section of No DQ. That's coming up in October 25th. And the anniversary of this show, July 16th. It's just going to be crazy. And thank you for let's see. Natalie says, hello, going to depart to keep watching Young Guns too. Thank you, JJ. Thank you, Natalie. Good to see you. If Alana's still awake when she pops in later, please tell her I love everybody. Tell everybody I love everybody. Everybody loves somebody. That's what Adam Pierce says on Facebook every single day. So everyone loves somebody today. So please do that, because this world is full of bullshit. And it needs to be rectified and turned in the direction. So good night to all involved there. Enjoy Young Guns too, JJ. Now you're going to be reviewing that coming up in June. We all saw that in the trailer. And you can catch JJ the rest of the week on his channel over at youtube.com/Castilian Studios as he reviews both Rampage on Wednesday and Skyscraper on Friday. And then, of course, you saw what he's got coming up on Monday, Red Notice, the final entry in his Dwayne Johnson month. And then it's off for June. And like I said, June, it's going to be a little bad shit around here. I'm not going to lie, but we'll get into that more later. All right, let's get into your questions. We have, first of all, a $5 super chat from Ken, which I appreciate. Ken, thank you very much. Am I the only one who thinks this Sasha Naomi walkout reminds me of when then WWF President Gorilla Monsoon and definitely suspended the Ultimate Warrior? I can see the comparisons. I do. I understand that. I understand the reference, right? The difference is we know now that it was a complete shoot, that the Warrior was suspended indefinitely and ultimately left the company for, 18 years, I think it was, if I remember right. Just a terrible situation. A lot of alpha personalities involved there. There are a lot involved here, if you believe the rumor and innuendo, which I try very hard not to solely focus on those. And and again, like we said on Saturday, like I said yesterday on Ask the Dads, toward the end of the Dads episode we did, we will never probably know the entire story until Mercedes or Trinity themselves come in front of a camera, write a statement, whatever the case may be. So we're just not going to know. But if it ends up being the fact that they do both leave the company, they are exiled from the company as is believed, then yes, it's very much like the Warrior situation back in 1996. It's very, very similar. And it's also just as unfortunate. People, will talk about the Warriors' in-ring skill set, including me, on a regular basis on how limited it was, and there is no doubt about that. Whereas Sasha and Naomi, completely opposite. But you cannot deny the charisma of any of the three people. The Warrior, Jim Hellwig, whatever you want to call him back then, his personality was second to none as far as his character on screen. He drew the people in. He really did. And it was unfortunate that whatever was going on in that brain of his could not reconcile with working in a WWF environment. We know more about the Sasha situation than probably we should, honestly, because we've seen it unfold over the last few years. And again, we're not going to know for sure until Trinity and Mercedes actually say what they need to say or what they feel they should say. And yeah, she has been unhappy with WWE before, Ken, as you said. But again, much like Steve Austin, if you walk out once for burnout, like she claimed, okay, cool, do it again, and this time within the same. Not within the same calendar year as Steve Austin did. It's still a bad way to conduct business. And at the same time, Steve Austin walking out in 2002 proved that nobody is above WWE. Nobody's bigger than WWE, because they were very quick to bury him, send him on his merry way. The Rock came back the next week, said, "Get the F out if you don't like it here." And they went on Confidential that week and just roasted him over an open fire. So it's just one of those things where I don't know if this is the right way to go for Mercedes and for Trinity. But if, like we talked about on Open Mic Night on Saturday, either way this plays out, Mercedes wins. Because if they do indeed crown new tag team champions, and they are forced almost by this to get a storyline behind the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, then the ladies that walked out get what they want for those they leave behind. If they completely bury the titles, or they crown champions and still bury the champions, then they were right all along and they should have walked out, as far as in their mind. I don't think it's the right way to conduct business. I said that on Greg's show, I said it on Saturday, and I say it now. You don't handle your business by walking out. Yes, I'm referring to Confidential, Ken. You don't conduct your business. You don't. Again, CM Punk, as much as people disagree with the way he did business, you can't change the industry from your couch, from your bedroom, from wherever the case may be. Despite what the internet will have you believe, you can't make real, legitimate, valuable change sitting here, sitting there. You can't do it. You have to make change being there. So if this is about them making change, if this is about them, changing the way things are approached, time will tell. And it's kneel before Zod. I understood that reference. Thank you to all the DC fans out there. I'm actually rewatching the DC stuff. I'm getting back into Gotham, much to JJ's delight. So we'll see if I get back into the movies here soon. Davis is not trying to be biased toward any sides here, but do you think from everything we hear so far that Mercedes lacked a bit of awareness? And what I mean by that is everyone knew Ronda signed a 3-year deal back in 2018, and from 2019 and 2021, there's been nothing but talk about Ronda returning. Kind of like saying there's a chance whatever I'm being told might just be plan B. So yeah, it's one of those, if Mercedes, Sasha, Trinity, Naomi, whatever, wanted to believe that the end game was not to bring back Ronda Rousey, then they had deluded themselves if that's the case, because Ronda did indeed sign a 3-year deal. It wasn't like she was leaving forever. She felt, and I said this the minute it happened. I've said it almost every show I bring up Ronda's brought up in the last 4 years. I looked right at Aaron sitting here next to me at the Staples Center at the time, but it's now Crypto.com Arena, of course, and told him that the crowd turning on Ronda Rousey was driving Ronda Rousey out of the company, and she'd be gone by WrestleMania. She took the fall WrestleMania to Becky Lynch, and she was gone for over almost 2 years. Actually, almost 3 years, excuse me, because she left in 2019. So anybody that didn't see her return coming, once she got some time, once she got some perspective, some space from the company, once she had the little one, once she got her head space back together, was deluding themselves into thinking that reality wasn't going to be a thing. And again, I'm trying very hard to stay off of a delicate thing here because I'm not intimately knowledgeable of the conversations or the person. But from what we've been told, Ronda, very heavily considered taking her own life after she lost to Holly Holm back in, I think that was 2016, maybe even sooner, maybe even before that. So Ronda not being in a good headspace after a pivotal moment in her career, her life, whatever the case may be, is not an uncommon occurrence. So rather than get into a dark space where she considered a permanent solution to what was ultimately a temporary problem, she got time away, she got perspective, she went back on her farm, and she got her head screwed back on straight in her own mind, in her own heart, and her own brain. So good for her. She was always going to come back. It was just a matter of when. Same with Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, as much as people wanted him to go away, when Cowboy Brock walked out there at SummerSlam, everybody but me was happy to see him. Okay, I'm just saying, these people that go away and come back after lengthy periods when they're under contract is not oh wow, I didn't know. You knew, and especially people in the company. People in the company knew they were going to come back. More so Ronda than Brock, obviously. So if that's why this walkout has happened, then that's ridiculous on Mercedes and Trinity's part. That's just the fact of the matter. Anyway, yes, Steve had, okay, so briefly summarizing this, after going into WrestleMania, Austin was not happy with the creative that was presented to him as far as NWO coming in, him facing Scott Hall, him being basically what was 4th or 5th match on the card that night, and he was burnt. He was done. In dialogue on Bite This, he had said that he was burnt out and he walked out. Vince McMahon welcomed him back a week later for the draft thing. He ended up signing with Raw, was feuding with Ric Flair as the owner of Raw, and then he did his walkout for good. We thought at the time, of course, it was only 8 months, back into June of 2002. So what we learned later, much later, as far as post WrestleMania 19, when the documentary came out about that WrestleMania, is that he was not only dealing with burnout, his marriage was in trouble with Deborah, his health was worse than it had ever been. His neck was bothering him. His knees were bothering him. He was just physically, mentally, emotionally worn out. And he didn't know, as Stone Cold Steve Austin, how to express that. So rather than the climate we live in nowadays, where expressing that kind of thing, be it for a man, a woman, whatever gender you identify with, is much more commonplace. 20 years ago, that was not the case. So he chose to distance himself in an unprofessional way rather than deal with the idea that he couldn't hack it. He couldn't maintain his control over his own destiny. So I applaud Steve for coming forward with that. And I honestly would like to see that be the case, if it is the case with Mercedes and Trinity, Sasha Banks and Naomi. If that's the case, if they're that burnt out and they're physically more beat up than we're being led to believe, although, the fact that Sasha's doing the Mandalorian stuff and she's in phenomenal physical shape, at least outwardly, same with Trinity, I tend to believe that's not the case. So anyway, let's see. David says, would you eat a Wrestle Burger chicken sandwich with Brock's Beard Bros seasoning and JR barbecue sauce, along with a broken skull. Wow, that is a lot of redneck ingredients. My goodness. I've not actually had a taste of the Brock's Beard Bros seasoning yet. I believe our buddy the Cleaver Colin Andrew used it recently during a cookout for a premium live event. Don't quote me, Colin, because I'm not exactly sure. We're just now back on awareness, I guess. I have had JR's basic barbecue sauce. It is very good. I still got a couple broken skulls. The American Lager, not that IPA. Oof. Here in the fridge here in the office. So that sounds like an interesting combination. If I can get my hands on some Brock's Beard Bros seasoning, I've got plenty of burger patties and chicken patties ready for the grill outside here. So not out of the realm possibility. Maybe for if I don't go to SummerSlam or don't go to Money in the Bank or whatever. So we'll see. You never know, David. You just never know. All right. So let me briefly, and I stress the word briefly, talk about what happened on social media today regarding a different news outlet in the world of sports entertainment. I'm not going to say their name. I'm not going to acknowledge it in the chat room if you do. So just throwing it out there. Even if you super chat, I'm not going to acknowledge the name. So just don't even bother. If you're going to super chat and be sneaky like that, I'm just not even going to bother. And that's how important it is to me that this dipshit not get name acknowledgement. Okay. But, and Greg's going to talk a whole lot more about it tomorrow as well. So let me just be clear there. There was a kind of a disturbance in the force, tomorrow being, of course, the 45th anniversary of Star Wars. Good Lord Almighty. Regarding a certain wrestling website that's been pretty prominently covered by others over here, that decided to take the stance against certain peoples in the wrestling community and in the world, really. And I was appalled, completely appalled by what I saw once I actually came out of my post getting my son ready for school coma, because I felt like I was up all night with indigestion. I felt like such crap. Felt even worse once I read this garbage. So there is a shirt over on the Greg Cherry brand that is being sold right now, and the proceeds from that shirt will be directed toward the Trevor Project. And you can go to at Trevor Project on Twitter and check out what that's all about. But to that person, to that website as a whole, for even daring to take such a outdated, unbelievably ungodly, prejudiced stance, shame on you. And like the shirt says, F you guys. Terrible. Especially you, Guy. F you, dude. Just terrible, terrible, terrible. All right. I'm good on that. Let's see what we've got here while I wait for more questions to come in, because I'm just going to kind of see what is on the horizon, if you will. Let's see. Caleb says, I respect Sasha and Naomi so much. I have walked off the job before, but before money isn't everything. I'd love to see Mercedes and Trinity in AEW when WWE is done with the legal BS. That would be a major thing. Aaron will not be talking about this, for the record, as far as I know. And he's probably not going to be happy that I brought it up on the Nerdy Q stream. Sorry, Aaron, if that is the issue. I apologize. I didn't brief you on that I didn't tell you I was going to do that. And I am sorry I didn't do that, but I had to get it off my chest. It was just so disgusting. It was terrible, to be honest with you. As far as and again, we kind of went ad nauseum on this. And unfortunately, Caleb, you got kind of caught up in the crossfire for defending without being able to take the opposite side of defense. So let me just clear that with you right now, Caleb. I will say this. If, again, we don't know the whole story, we'll probably never know the whole story, because quite frankly, it's none of our damn business, to be perfectly honest with you. So if their reasons are justified, more than just they didn't like the creative, they took their ball and went home. They took their piss out of the sandbox and went to go, put themselves on timeout. Then if they're actually doing business for different reasons, then I would like to see them in AEW. or the NWA or Impact, or whatever the case may be. They are both great in-ring athletes, and their characters, however they decide to tweak them in a different company, are amazing. So we'll see. Let's see. David, not sure how big the rounds were yesterday, but are you aware of the old Excalibur WG video? That was a bit, but yeah, okay. I'm not going to go too deep into this because I've known about this for a lot longer than I care to admit. I'm not going to lie. Excalibur, prior to the Bucks bringing him along for the ride to AEW, if we're going to be totally honest, has never been one to shy away from controversial takes. So if he gets caught in a viral crossfire, that's unfortunate for him, but it's very unsurprising. I'll say that. Matt says he's tired of the Nikki superhero gimmick. So am I. We need Nikki Cross back, and now that whatever this fall is going to be with this 6-person match last week that kind of fell apart here, we need to get Nikki Cross back, and we need to get Piper Niven, not Dewdrop. Piper Niven, not Dewdrop, on WWE. Wow, I went back 20 years. WWE television. Because the Dewdrop thing is long since proven stupid as far as the name goes, and Nikki, almost a superhero, is just bullshit. Please super chat me about that. I would love to talk about that. You know what? I think because the green screen's down, I can actually access the picture. If you just give me a second here, I'll go ahead and do that right now. Actually, let me go ahead and get myself. You don't see me shaking my ass on camera. That's just a scary thing for all involved. If we're going to be honest with the public. Yeah, I actually still have the original print that Gary sent me all those years ago. So just get it with me here. It's up here somewhere. There it is. No, that's not it. That's the Halloween thing. Hang on a minute here. There it is. Oh my goodness. Old piece of crap frame, but it is what it is. All right. So let me go ahead and sit my big ass back down here. Ooh, whoops! Oh shit! Good thing I was off camera. I just took a blow to the head from this damn lamp. That hurt really bad, actually. Good thing that was off camera. That sucked. Oh man, fudge me! Oh my goodness gracious! Oh wow! Oh. Okay. Well, now that I have another concussion to add to my list, that's awesome. Woohoo! Okay. Let's see here. I did see that question earlier. Did I like the Mortal Kombat? I actually haven't seen Mortal Kombat, any of the movies. And people are saying, people are asking JJ, well, there's another Mortal Kombat, so it's not one sequel. That timeline, one sequel. That's why he's doing that next month. Nikki ASH really is a bad Hurricane knockoff, except that, people actually like the Hurricane's gimmick to this day. So there is that. No, I didn't hate the Fragile Man. I did then, Ken. Let me go ahead and oh man, God, that really hurts. Son of a bitch. I need to call my doctor. Let's see here. What are they? Oh, no. Okay. So when it was first done, I did. And I hated it. And I say that because at the time that Gary drew the picture and it kind of circulated, excuse me. God damn, that thing hit me hard. Yeah, it's a reboot, so it really doesn't count as a direct sequel, right? So there you go. But I also, you have to remember, I have now 13 years of hindsight, and I was mad because I had to leave what was a really fun job, fun work environment, as far as being able to manage some of the best independent talent here in Southern California, because I had been injured in the ring. I had It hurt. I didn't know how bad bruised ribs could hurt until I actually had it happen to me. So I was very upset and very angry that I was being picked on, ridiculed, whatever you want to call it. So I did inherently resent and outright hate the picture, the gimmick, the whole thing. But I've come to embrace it. I've come to understand where Gary was coming from, and I get it. So yeah, if people are wondering what I'm talking about, and if Ken still wanted to super chat, I will gladly show that picture to the world. David says the Nikki ASH gimmick died the moment she won Money in the Bank. The key word of the story should have been almost. She should have almost won Money in the Bank. She should have almost become a contender, etc. This could have went on for months. Then when she finally won the title, she basically feel like a superhero. Then they could have had Hurricane confront her like, the fact you never quit is why you were a superhero all along. Exactly. You know, that's why it's yeah. Okay, so just for a point of reference, this thing came down and hit me on the head when I was off camera. So yeah, fragile was definitely a thing. Okay, like seriously, it's scared. I was scared. I think I'm more scared. Come on, wake up! This damn lamp. I hate this friggin' thing. So piece of shit. Wake up! There it goes. Yeah, definitely Fragile Man 2.0. Wow, God, that really hurt. Anyway, so yeah, anybody who wants to see what Ken and I are talking about, I don't know if it's on social media, then whatever, you know, do what you got to do. It's whatever. But if y'all want to see it, let me know. I'll gladly bring it in front, because it really is it's funny enough, because not only did Gary draw the sketch of me and the print of me as Fragile Man in the wake of my being hurt, but I also actually went out and bought everything. I had a shirt, the exact same shirt drawn up. I went out bought a pair of shorts that kind of matched the outfit in the picture. I used a cape for the gimmick, everything. And I actually had kind of this similar type of hat. So there you go. It may have actually been this hat. It's been a long time, so I don't remember. Anyway. So, and people were asking me throughout the day about the shootings the last few days. This world is screwed up. It's just getting worse and worse and worse, unfortunately. And yet, yeah, please go back and watch the old Talk Wrestlings. A lot of them are on my channel, a lot of them are on Aaron's channel. It's good stuff. Not as un-PC as the old XMVs that we can air. So some of the Talk Wrestling actually hold up pretty well over the years. So check out the old stuff. I mean, it's 15 years this year, so why not, right? But yeah, as far as the school, the incidents, the shootings and everything, it's really sad. And I say that with a little bit of a darker tone than I usually would, because, you know, I live in a city that for a long number of years, we were the third safest city in this country. And just a couple of years ago, we had a school shooting, which would never have happened before. We have an increased homelessness problem out here. We've got so many things that come with the phrase urban blight that had never really permeated beyond downtown, beyond downtown Los Angeles, and it's kind of becoming a thing up here now. So it's unfortunate. But it's one of those, you know, when it happens to your town, oh, it will never happen here. You really buy into that, and then it does, and you're like, wow. As far as the classic episodes, there's no real trademark, I don't believe, on any of the stuff that I'm on with Aaron. He's granted me carte blanche to download whatever I want and re-upload whatever I want. So if I ever get a creative, you know, writer's block or whatever to do one of these shows, pop up over an episode. We will be celebrating Talk Wrestling this year on July 16th. It's Saturday. It's 2 weeks after Money in the Bank. It's exactly in between Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. So there will be a celebration of this show, 15 years coming up in July. Golly, it's crazy for me. You figure that show started the year before Dylan was born. So he just turned 14. So man, 15 years of this show, and then 20 with no DQ overall. So 2022 is a crazy year. But anyway, that's really, I mean, there's really not a whole lot to talk. I mean, you guys have all, you know, watched the reviews with Aaron. You watched the recaps on TV. You watched Open Mic Night, which we appreciated a lot. My God, we went 3 hours on Saturday night. It was awesome. I had a great time doing that show with with JJ in person, with Mike and Dory, with James, with Noah. It was a great, great night, and I can't wait to get back with everybody again on Sunday. Again, Double or Nothing coverage coming up on Sunday, the 29th. That's on the socials at 6:30 Central Pacific, and of course live on YouTube exclusively at 8 o'clock Eastern. And then we'll be back here Monday with Ask the Dads over on the Jeff Meacham Network side of things coming up on Monday. That'll be following JJ's last Dwayne Johnson movie review, The Rock, the Red Notice movie, and we'll be back here a week from tonight again after NXT. And like I said, June just is bananas. I have literally 4 days currently, maybe even 5 if you count the 30th there with a question mark on it, where I have absolutely nothing set in stone. And 2 of those days I'm on the air and I'll be live on location, because for June 1st I'll be at the Forum for Dynamite, and then the following Monday, June 6th, I'll be at the Plaza Inn at Disneyland having my early dinner for a parade seat. So it's going to be crazy. July 16th, 15 years. If you're referring to the Benoit stuff, that was actually in June. So forgive me if I don't know what that is, Ken. I apologize. I guess we can't talk about it when we get there. I respect Richard Joy Scott from the Columbine shooting. I've heard the name, Caleb, and I unfortunately I've heard it because of Columbine. So yeah, it's one of those things. Psycho says, thoughts on the Joey Janela fire kick? Never heard of it. I've kind of shied away from the whole Joey Janela phenomenon, because it kind of it always seems to lead down a path of either you love the guy or you don't. And I really don't want to get involved with the drama of, Joey one way or the other. So Alex said it's a matter of time before WWE is sold. Again, we've talked about it for years. I'll believe when I see it. Caleb says they are so successful, though, so don't count on it. They still bring money in. Exactly. If I put a burger patty in between the sandwich bread, is it a sandwich or a burger? I think the only really hot debate when it comes to that type of thing is a hot dog. I think as long as you're using a burger patty, it is a burger, because you're still, and actually, I think a burger qualifies as a sandwich anyway. You have to look up the definition of sandwich and see what I think a burger is a sandwich, but a sandwich isn't necessarily a burger, right? Because burger has to be a burger patty, right? You can't have a sliced deli ham and cheese burger. Doesn't work unless you have a burger patty, right? But a burger is almost always a sandwich because it has the meat and other ingredients in between the two buns. So it's always a sandwich. But a sandwich isn't always a burger. There you go. Hot dog is not a sandwich. Damn right, CJ. All right, we're getting into sillies. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. Thank you guys again so very much for the 39 minutes we had. I really appreciate everybody being here. Again, check out the Greg Cherry Show tomorrow. It's going to be serious. It's not going to be usual Greg Cherry Show fare. We're going to talk about the shootings. We're going to talk about that other website that I'm not going to mention here because I don't want to upset the boss for that matter. So thank you all very much. We will see you tomorrow for more of the Jeff Meacham Network side of things, for more of the No DQ side of things. Again, Aaron will have his recap of Dynamite tomorrow, after Dynamite, of course, and we'll be on the air with Greg and I at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific. And then I'm off until Sunday and Double or Nothing after tomorrow. So I'm going to enjoy my 3 days off. You guys enjoy the rest of your week. Have a wonderful night.